Allow it. Okay. All right. So first and foremost, okay, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Adobe Illustrator workshop, yeah, for Noble School 2024. All right, first and foremost, when you have installed your Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, you will get into your cloud, yeah, Creative Cloud desktop, or if you don't have this, normally you'll have this. If you don't have this, you can just go to your Windows. If it's Windows or Mac, you can just look for the program. Just type in the Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. Here will pop up. Just click on it, and the application opens. Okay, so that's the first thing. Once you open the application, this is what you will see. First and foremost, you will see is the first page, landing page, yeah, that states new file. If you want to create a new project, yeah, open whatever file that you have already saved, yeah. You've got home, learn, and the shares and so on. So for now, just ignore this one, okay? If you want, please go and hit on the learn, no problem, okay? It's all there. Right. On the right hand side, the big, huge page here. All right. I'm just going to hide this. Right. Here, you will see the options to start pass. Okay. So in here, it will state what kind of documents that you want to open. Yeah. Think about it like a piece of paper that you're taking from a sketchbook or your art book. Yeah. What size, how big it is, yeah, how big it is, what is the purpose for. So for now, because you all are starting, you're going to go with A4 first. Yeah, everyone knows what is A4 paper, right? The one that you print. Yeah, so that is more than sufficient. So different applications or different outputs requires different sizes. Billboards, posters, all is different. Yeah, but don't worry, vector graphics is very, very solid because you can expand and enlarge it, not like that. Okay. So when you start here, you will see these options. If you don't see this preset, this is what we call as presets. If you don't see this, you just have to hit on new document. This window will pop up and then it will state here and it will give you options. What is the reason document that you have worked on with? If it's A4, A4, letter means letter and so on and so forth. Okay. But if you want to do for mobile, if you want to do for print, so we are looking at print for now. Yeah. So print, we will look for A4 size. Okay. So once you hit on A4 size, number one is to amend or edit your preset details. Okay. So preset details, which means what is your document so that you can retrieve it back easily and you know where you have saved. If you don't just put it as untitled, next time you will have untitled 1, 2, 3. You don't know what are you looking for. Okay. Be very clear. Week 1, or perhaps you can do week 1 or poster or bunting or whatever it is that you're doing. Make sure that you name it. Naming convention is important because you will be more organized. Right? So you can see here the below this preset detail, which you can highlight it. You can use your pad or your touchpad, or you can use your mouse. Mouse would be better. Name it. So week 1, AI or Noble. For me, I'll just put it as Noble. You guys can put it your name. Yeah, week 1 name. And here, this is where at the bottom here, this is what is the size unit you're going to work with, right? To be very simple with you guys, just go in here. You see this point here, the drop down arrow. So when you see any arrows like that, that means there's a lot of other information hidden. So you just tap on this, you will see the points of what kind of units that you're going to work with. I'm just going to go in and look for pixels. Yeah. So you can scroll up and down, hit pixels easier, or you can even go for cm, centimeters, or millimeters, up to you. Right. Don't worry about this too much. We'll come back to this. Yeah. For now, just pixels, say okay. All right. So before you create, you see this orientation. There is this portrait. and then landscape. There's two versions. Yeah. Portrait means when you take a photo, you take a selfie and so on, that is portrait. Yeah. Landscape, you will see white. Very simple. Yeah. The rest of it, ignore for now. Yeah. CMYK, just leave it as it is. Because we are playing with CMYK, just a little bit of explanation. Because you are playing with print, CMYK is always the method of color mode that you will be playing with. Yeah. RGB is normally for desktop images and so on. Any print, CMYK. Yeah. The color will be off. Later, we'll discuss about this even further. For now, just leave it as it is and say, okay. Another one is the effect. The higher your raster effect is, the DPI, the sharper your images will be. Very sharp. The lower, the more jaggedy it becomes. Right? So for now, leave it as it is and hit create. Hop. Once you hit create, let it wait for a bit. And now you have the document created. This is your canvas. Right? So first and foremost, before we create anything, yeah, this is what you will see. Number one, you will see the top layer here, top shelf here. It will have the home sign. I mean, after the logo of AI, home sign. If you hit home, it will go back to that previous window. All right? You've got file. So file is where you save your file. Right? Now you just created, you have not saved. Right? So if you don't save your file, if it's gone, it's gone. Yeah, you cannot retrieve it. So make sure your first step that you do in any applications, you save as or save. Okay. Once you save on your computer. Right. So here, look for your designated space, whether it's going to be on a desktop or whether it's going to be on your specific partition. Yeah. For me, I'll just put it on desktop. Just create a folder, call it as Noble School. Or in your case, ACA or CCA? ACA, right? Yeah. ACA Illustrator or AI. Create the folder, chuck everything inside there. The next time when you have a pen drive, if you want to bring it to a different desktop or different laptop or working space, you can just take it from there. As you can see, it will give you options of version. You can go into lower version. You can see the legacy and so on and so forth. Yeah. For now, ignore that because you're going to use 2020 anyways, 2020 and above. Yeah. Unless if you go for lower version, if you have bought or if you're using, CS3 or, Illustrator 3 or and so on and so forth, low version, then you have to save that. But be mindful when you save in a lower version, yeah, you may lose some new features. Okay. Yeah. So for now, just leave it as it is. Remember, the higher you save as, say, for instance, you're saving as 2024 or 2020 and above, or CS6 and above. Later, when you want to open in a lower version, you cannot open. Okay. Can? So for now, just leave it as it is. Others do not need to check. Just save. Okay. Clear? Yeah. Save it, and always put yourself a habit. Control S. Control S is for save. Yeah, Control S or Command S. If you're using Mac, Command S. Windows, Control S all the time. You save, you save, you save. Okay? So you don't lose. Or every 5 minutes you save. Okay. And then file for now, that is what you have to have in mind. Yeah, you have to remember. So if you want to close, just exit. Yeah, just click on this X button here. Just close it. Yeah. Save as, which means it will ask you whether you want to save another copy, you want to save for a different naming convention and so on. You can save it. Okay. Close it and then you're done. Yeah. edit and so on, you can just scroll over. Don't need to crack your, crack yourself too much or pressure yourself too much for now. For now, just ignore this, but you can just go through. You've got object, what are the objects can do, edit, what can you do with the edits and so on and so forth. Yeah. And effects and so on. Yeah. So in here, we just go right here. You've got the view. View means what do you want to view on your working space? This is what we call as working space. Okay? Okay? So you want to see this, whether you want to hide your smart guide and so on, we'll get back to this even further and deeper as we go along. Yeah. So whatever that you want to set up here, what you want to see is where the view is going to be. Windows, where else? Is where all these tiny little boxes here, you can see all these icons. These are all windows. Okay? Clear? So when you see these windows, this is what you will see. If you don't want any of these windows, none of this to be, to be kind of like disrupting your view and all that, you can just click any of this and just off like that. See that? Gone. Okay? Very simple. So slowly, yeah. So this today, go and click everything. Make sure the application crashes. All right? Don't worry. It's just an application. Today, no big project. Just navigate. Okay? So when you get in here, because this is a 2024 new version, updated version, if you're using 2024, yeah, then the properties here will have all this AI stuff. For now, ignore the AI. AI meaning artificial intelligence. I will just show you all later, but don't touch that now. Okay? So under the property, we see this, just ignore, right? Ignore for now. All right. So as you move your cursor around here where you see the share and then the magnifying glass in any software is to find something. Okay? You hit on this, you can find what you want to find. If you are connected to the cloud, Adobe Cloud, you have a lot of other resources from there. You can just pick it up from. Right? Next is the arrange documents and so on. When you tap on this, you can arrange the documents. As you can see, all these small checker boxes, as you can see here on my cursor. It will showcase to you how do you want to have the layout. You can play around with this and see that. Yeah. So you can tap on this, see what happens. If you tap on this, what happens and so on. Right? You can come in here. Next to this tiny little boxes, the workspace. All right, where my cursor is, tap on this. Now make sure that you're on essential. The others, ignore. Right? Essential meaning everything that you need to see as for basics, everything will be there. Because when you go into any of other workspace, just an example, if I hit on painting, you will see everything has changed. And this is where you will go like, what happened, has gone crazy and so on, right? So you come back here, you can hit essential, or you can even go for classic essential, this too. Okay, clear? Play around, whichever that you're comfortable with, no problem. All right, this is not going to harm you. Right, so I'm going to come in here. I'm not going to go into, I'll just get into this essential now, yeah. So next, as you can see on my left-hand side, below the home button here, these are all the tools. You can see all these icons here. These are all the tools. These tools is going to help you to perform your actions. Okay. So first thing, you see the arrow. There's two types of arrow. One arrow, this is for selection. V is for selection. That's your shortcut key. Yeah. V is your selection. There's two types of selection. Yeah. Just to be testing, I'm going to come down here. I've got other tools. So first selection is to select everything, every object, anything that you just draw and create an object, you can select that. The other one is if you just hover through your mouse, it will state direct selection A. Yeah, all the shortcut is there. You just have to hover your cursor on top of it. Yeah, direct selection is where you can pick every single points and change it. Okay, you've got the pen tools and so on. Yeah, for now, let's look at how do you want to use it. Okay, so in here, Adobe Illustrator is based on vector. So vectors are how it works. Let me just explain. Vectors is point based, right? Okay. So when you play with point based, which means if you see this tiny little square on the tool, yeah, it states it's a rectangle. Yeah. If you want to create something on this canvas, you just have to use your left mouse button. Yeah. Make sure you select the tool, which is the rectangle tool. Yeah. M for rectangle. You just have to create something like this. Drag with your left mouse button. Hold your left mouse button and drag it and let it go. Yeah. So once you do this, you will see there is tiny little boxes around along with line and also a tiny dot. Okay. So how it works is these two boxes that you see here, these are all points. Okay. So one point to another point, a line is created, like a dot. One dot to another dot, you can create a line, right? So when there's a lot of lines here, then you will have dots that is going to help to create those lines. As simple as that. Okay. So when you see this, now if you were to move, you will see this empty. If you were to move this, then this is an object. Can you see? It can come out of the canvas. Yeah. So I'll talk about the canvas later. So you can come out like this, and then you can just see what kind of object that you created. Yeah. So very simple. If you see this now, you see, what is this? It's just a square. Okay, rectangle. This is what you have created. That's cool. Next, this rectangle here, information, what it has. Number one, it has an outline. You can see at the bottom here on your toolbar here. Yeah, you got two options. One is a fill. If you just hover your mouse here, the box is a fill. Another one is an outline. So it consists colors filled in it like a container, and then you've got an outline. Okay. So if you tap on this, just double click on it, on that fill color here. Now you can just take any of this, choose any of this color by holding on your left mouse button on this color picker. Just choose the colors here, yeah, and do the slider. You can choose any colors you desire and hit OK. Now you have the whole box colored. Okay. This may look like, what is this? I don't see anything. I can do this. Yeah, it's cool. But the fundamental of most of the objects or any kind of art and so on, it's all started with shapes. Okay. So that's why we are all into shapes in a very, very first beginning. Okay. So in here, first you create a rectangle. Now you know how to fill in the colors. Now you know you got also a stroke, which is the lines. Yeah. You just tap on this stroke, double click on it. You can also change the stroke color to any other colors that you prefer. Say, okay, I'll just click elsewhere. This is now an object. This is what will be displayed if you print. Okay, clear? All right, let's see about other shapes. Let's go into shapes first. Okay. Next, you can zoom in, zoom out by holding Alt, scroll, yeah, in, out. Okay. This is just zooming, This is just zooming. If you want to see closer, like how you draw very far, and then you want to see a little bit more nearer to see details, then you zoom in and zoom out. If you don't have a mouse and you don't know how to scroll, you hit Z, yeah. Or you can come in here. This is a magnifying tool on your toolbar. Tap on it, go in, you see there's a plus button. That means it is magnifying. Just tap, 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 it will just zoom. If you want to zoom out, hold Alt, you will see the sign here on the magnifying glass or your icon, your cursor here. It will have minus. Yeah, just tap with your left mouse button. Okay, it will zoom out. Easier way, use a mouse. That's why I said that one will hold to where you're seeing, and it's much more easier for you. And if you hold on to your middle mouse button, you can now pan, they call it as a pan, panning your document around. You see the hand tool here, it will grab the document and pan the document around. You see? This is very essential. You all need to know this. Yeah. So once you get this, make sure you hit V back again. Yeah, get your position. Hit V back again so that you go back to your selection easier. Yeah. Right. Coming back to your tools. Yeah. Hit back. Position your document wherever desired view that you want. Next is getting into what kind of other objects that you can create. So if you hold on anything that you see on this toolbar here that has a tiny little button like a simple cross like this. This is a square on your toolbar. If you have anything that showcases like this, you see this icon here? Yeah. That means if you hold with your left mouse button, there is more options to it. Yeah. I come in here, hold on to the rectangle here. I've got an ellipse tool. I've got a polygon tool, star tool, and line segment. These three, the star tool and line segment, for now, ignore it. Okay? Just get to know your ellipse tool. We have already set the shortcut key L. Yeah. For now, shortcut key is very hard to be memorized. You can just hold on to it and then choose ellipse tool. Okay? So now, if you were to create something, an ellipse or round or circle, yeah. If you just drag with your left mouse button, it will become an oval, right? But if you want a perfect, or if you want to have anything perfect, uniform, a circle, a square, yeah, perfect, right? Then you hold on to Shift, and now you drag with your left mouse button. See that? Okay. So please bear for a bit. You will get to the result. Yeah. So this is what you will see. Okay. Perfect circle. Right. So if you were to have to create something from this position. Now, if you're creating again, I'm going to delete this. Delete is just select the object and hit delete. That's it. Okay. So now if I go hit L and then I create with holding Shift and left mouse button, and I just drag something, I create an object. So this will create from the start where I'm starting, my position is, and then it is going to project from there. But if I want it to be positioned right here as the center, I hold Alt. You see when I hit or when I hold Alt, you see my cursor? See that project here? This is my mouse. Yeah? You see that? That will change. Okay. So if I hold on this Alt, it will change. Yeah. See? It will change that dot around it. And then I drag. That means I have locked my position. And then if I were to have a perfect circle, I hold on to Shift. See that? And let it go. Now you have got this center point of where it is supposed to be created, and then you create it, right? This will come handy as when you are doing images such as, or artwork such as this geometrical shapes here. Okay. See, when you see geometrical shapes, it's boring, right? But if you work smart and be as creative as you are, or you can be, you can create all these nice flyers, as you can see in a lot of events and so on. Yeah, your name cards, your even your tags and so on. Yeah, will have all kind of this imaginary images that is going to be meaningful and fun to look at, playfulness and so on. Yeah. So these are all geometrical shape, though it is boring, but if you utilize it well, it can become a beautiful artwork. Okay. So we'll get into this later. But today we just want to know what it can do, right? So if you zoom in, zoom out, now you know how to create your objects. Hit back to your selection. Now you click on any of the objects that you have created. Yeah. So each and every polygon or geometries that you have already created, it becomes one piece. Okay, one object. Yeah. So selection, you can just tap on this, make sure it is selected, and you see this bounding box. This is what you call it, bounding box, and also the points. Yeah. So it has four corners. Now, if you hover through to this tiny little dot here, especially for squares or rectangles, if we just do this, it will make it into a circle. See that? Undo. You can move this up and down. So it will make the edges rounded, right? It's like a frame. It can make it rounded. Yeah, like so. You can make it square and sharp like so. Okay. But if you were to do only one side, yeah, you have to tap once, make sure the dot is highlighted. See that? You tap once, it becomes a little bit more darker blue. Now, or tap once, sorry, once, and then if you move, now you are only amending or editing only one part of it. See that? Okay? Again, I'm going to undo. Control Z is undo. Control Z or Z. Yeah, whichever that you're familiar with. Tap once and drag, which means it is only concentrating on one corner. If you hold one straight away with your left mouse button and do this, then it makes the entire corners rounded. Clear? Try it and see. So tap once, whoop, and do that. Ta-da! Right? So this is what you can do. Now, if you play with shapes, you can just drag with your Alt, hold this, drag and drop. You have already created two different objects. You can change the colors. Just tap on this filled button. Yeah. Double click on it. You can change it to a darker color. Yeah. Say OK. Sorry, must select this, double click, change color. Now you've got two different colors here. Okay? Yeah. You can even bring this circle right here. Hold Shift and Alt so that the position is not running away. Okay. Drag it around here and you change the color to something lighter, like so. This is what you get. Okay. If you were to change this, sorry. If you were to rotate this, now you can just rotate this also. Holding shift will snap. Every time you hold shift is snapping. Huh? See that? You can transform this. Now you've got something interesting. You can see? Yeah? So that's what you can do with the lines. You can also take this, another circle, drag this and drop it right here. And you can click on the image here. You can see these three options. You can hit none. So this time, I'm going to come in here and just going to do this. Now this is what you get. See that? Only lines. And these lines can be thickened and can be reduced in its thickness. How do you do that? You go to properties. Every object you create will have its property. Okay? Meaning it will have its value. Yeah? So for stroke, if you don't see this, you can go into Windows, Appearances, hit on this. It will appear here on a window like this. And then go into your stroke. You see 1 point here. Now, if you thicken this to 5 points, your nib becomes thicker, right? You reduce the stroke. Make sure you select it. Select this circle. Go with 5 points, 6 points, depending what you really want. You can even go in here, click on the colors that is needed if you want to, or you can just double click on this tiny little box here on stroke and change the colors to the desired color that you want. Okay. So today you go and try this stuff to just play around to come out with interesting shapes together. Okay. Very simple. First explore and navigate through what it is. What can you produce with this? There's a lot of things in here, fun stuff. But first, understand how it works. Okay. I will go more and more and more because too much information now or in a day, it will be a little bit overwhelming for you guys. So first thing today, what you have learned? You have learned how to use or create objects. Yeah. Basic objects, geometrical objects. Yeah. How to edit them. Yeah. How to use your selection tool. And then direct selection tool first. Yeah, we have not gone into direct selection. How to create them, how to position them. That's it. Okay, how to change colors, how to change your fill color and stroke color. That's all you have for it. And then you can save it. Right? If you want, you can also, we have also covered how to copy things. Copy, you just have to select everything by selecting from outside here. You will see this tiny little bounding box. Anything that drops inside that selection, everyone can view. Anything that drops inside the selection, just let it go and everything else is selected. Okay, you can select this, move it around and do some creative stuff with this. Okay, next week when we come, this is where we will look into how do you want to further edit this, and we'll try to get into the level of adding some patterns, changing. I mean, how do you want to edit or group things together? How do you want to use basic shapes and so on? One topic at a time. Yeah. So that's it for today. Yeah. Thank you very much. And please do not forget to save your file. Right? Okay. I'm going to stop sharing.